it's your karmic astrologer, Priya Samai, and this is the astrology of the week ahead. I just want to say that I'm so happy and thankful that you guys are all here with me, connecting and checking in with your week. Know that it means a lot to me that you would stop by and hear what I have to say about the heavens above. Now, this week is pretty intense and very dynamic. A lot of tension that is preparing us right into the Aquarius full moon that will take place the following week on Monday. So we have a lot to discuss when it comes to what is being trained, how we are being trained by the heavens this week. On Monday, August 12th, there is a lot of tension that we are greeted with. And this has a lot to do with the moon that's going to be in Scorpio. Now, the moon in Scorpio, a quick trine through Saturn in Pisces. So we have a little bit of an intuitive nudge and knowing of what we are being taught on this day. And I want to say that you want to link up with your higher self because your higher self is very much present whenever we are talking about Saturn in Pisces. Your higher self is where you can go to answers, not just this week, but always 24/7. And you want to anchor and make that the resting spot for this week because you're going to need to use this a lot to get through the waves that this week brings us. So the moon in Scorpio is going to talk so much about shifting power dynamics within ourselves. On this day, it's going to be a first quarter moon, which is the first tension that we receive after a new moon. So the new moon in Leo was so much about, hey, you're a rock star, you're a superstar. You can do the leadership, you can do the things that your heart and passions desire. And so we come to this moon in Scorpio that says, but there's a insecurity there. We know you want to do this. This is the universe talking to us. We know you want to do this thing, yet we can't help but ignore that you have a deep rooted fear around becoming this person, around this version of leadership that you aspire to be in. And it's time that we take care of that. Now, this is internal, where we could be budging and experiencing tension between the person that we're wanting to become versus the fears that we have inside. But this can absolutely translate outwards around with the people around you and feeling like the others around you are opposing you or trying to test your status, power in ways that really strike the ego. So it can easily go from inward tension to outward tension. And in those situations, you want to really keep in mind the energy of the heavens and how this is all, any power dynamics that come your way are rooted in control and insecurity. And so best thing to do, in my opinion, is do not participate, especially when you have the upper hand of knowing astrology. This is what astrology is about, so you don't fall into these power plays that can derail you and delay you in your journey. I do want to mention that towards the end of this day, we're going to have the moon in Scorpio oppose Uranus in Taurus. And I think that this is the understanding and the spiritual breakthrough of why these shadows have to be alchemized. And so we're going to have a discussion, a spiritual discussion with the universe by the end of the day on what these insecurities and fears are rooted in and how you can dramatically break out of them, break the karmic patterns, break the emotional chains that you feel indebted to for freedom and true authenticity. Tuesday, August 13th is a very interesting day because the tension begins and continues to build. We are going to start off with the moon in Scorpio still. It's going to trine Neptune in Pisces. So we have this early morning communication with your subconscious. The best practice for Monday and Tuesday this week is to start your day off with the meditation. What is it that you need to know from your guides to get through the days, through the week? through the months even. So homework for this week, starting Monday and Tuesday, is start your day with the morning meditation, a quiet time that will anchor you into the subconscious and into the dream time and downloaded information that your guides and the universe have for you. That's how you're going to knock this week out the park. Okay. And I say that Tuesday is a high degree of annoyance. And this is going to be especially true for my mutable signs: Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces. If you have those placements, be aware of this Tuesday. The reason is the moon is going to go into Sagittarius and it's going to square Mercury retrograde in Virgo. And that is having the feeling of just wanting to be carefree. You don't want any responsibilities. You just kind of want to be in the exploration of it all and wanting to listen to loud music, wanting to have a good lunch, wanting to get the simple joys out of the day. Yet Mercury retrograde in Virgo is saying, well, you're forgetting all the details, right? You didn't look at the map. You're not looking at the prices. You're not looking at the efficiency around the fun that you're trying to have. Are you derailing yourself? And of course, this could bring up miscommunications. We are talking about Mercury, and it could bring in challenges in the way that you talk to people, misunderstandings, and um, disregarding each other and people, especially at work. I want to say to be mindful of your words on this day. And when I look at squares and oppositions and things like this, I always like to say who wins, right? Who's the winner in this? So the moon is in Sagittarius temporarily, squaring Mercury retrograde in Virgo. Who would win in this situation? And in my opinion, I think that the Mercury retrograde in Virgo wins, because that's a transit in training. We are all collectively experiencing the training of meticulous detail and where our days are being wasted. And even though the moon is in Sag and the moon says have fun, that's the point of this retrograde, is where it's saying this fun, this Starbucks drive that you're doing is costing you way too much time in your day, leading to straight goals. It's that serious. So keep that in mind for Tuesday. Okay, so we get to Wednesday, August 14th, and this is a heavy duty day, absolute turning point in the tensions that have been building up Monday and Tuesday. By Wednesday, there's a serious, I'm done. I'm tired of this. And what takes place is the moon is in Sagittarius and the moon will square Venus in Virgo. And this gets a little bit more serious because it's not just about saying the wrong thing, it's about constraining yourself. Moon in Sagittarius wants to bring out the joys of the day, and Venus in Virgo is being very intentional, specific, and detailed about how it sees the beauty in the day. So this is a direct tension on what creates smooth beauty and an inspired lifestyle. Venus also has to do with other people. So this can very much be the demands of others around you. People are needing you. There's a need for your one-on-one support, physical care, and it would derail you from what the moon wants you to do, which is just having fun. It doesn't stop there. Mars is going to conjunct Jupiter in Gemini, which is already a super big energy. Mars and Gemini. Now, Mars is carrying the messages of last month. Last month, we had Mars conjunct Uranus, which gave us a very eventful month with the tech stuff, the presidential moment. There was so much that happened last month, and that was a conduit of Mars conjuncting with Uranus. Not always does Uranus get activated in the astrology, but when he is activated, you're done. He's going to continue snowballing for the rest of the cycle that it needs to go through. So now that this energy, last month, Mars woke up Uranus, Mars is carrying the message. Mars is carrying Uranus's message of change by force, change whether you want to see it or not. and he's going to bring this message over to Jupiter. So I expect announcements happening around this time. 14th of August. I do think we're going to get some big news or just kind of be shocked in where things are headed. It's a moment of progression. Gemini has to do with sharing information. And I do think that this is going to be us learning something new that we were not previously aware of, just kind of coming into that awe of this is bigger than us. This is becoming something with a mind of its own. Now, this conjunction is going to happen in opposition to Sagittarius. Now, I'm looking at this very specifically for my Sagittarian placements, especially Sag moons and the mutables as well. This is not playing nice together. It's the epitome of here's a ton of detail and a ton of facts, and it's going to pop the bubble of the ideal of a perfect situation. I think Sagittarius is not described as perfectionist enough, but I absolutely think they are. And I feel like that's what Sag and Virgo have in common is their need for things to be perfect. I think the word sometimes people use is ideal. But Sagittarius is when it cares about a subject or an idea, it is very specific about how that is carried out. And with Mars and Jupiter offering so many extra details, this is 100% tension and just being uncomfortable. Now, what I want to say is an opposition at the core definition, it's opposing one another. So in the question of who wins, well, both people do, both energies do, because an opposition has to find a way for both of the energies to be expressed. And so that says to me that we need to make time for the details and we need to make time to see how those details are going to fit into our greater picture. So we have to make time for both of these ideas. In relation to people, you have to see what side you are on. If you're an air sign, and wanting to be very specific about the details and you're flagging around papers and facts and things to others because you genuinely have a merit, you found something out that everybody needs to know, then honor that space for yourself, but know that you need to take in consideration the philosophy that other people are under. So don't step down, I don't think, but also be mindful of what others are saying and how could you come to a fair solution. I know, right? Boring. And again, if you're on the opposite side and you have the philosophy, you're holding down the greater picture, you can do that, but still give yourself time to look at the details. Actually, I'm even going to put more weight onto the Mars and Jupiter conjunction winning because Sagittarius needs to learn. Sagittarius is being trained on the details. So, absolutely, if you're Sagittarius placement or fire sign, you need to slow down to see more of the facts. You may be doing something too rushed or missing core details that are going to come back and bite you in the butt. I love astrology. Now, on this day, we're also going to have Mercury retrograde in Virgo, ingress into Leo. So go back into the Leo zodiac sign. I think this is going to be very interesting because we're going from, oh, things are messy to this is my ego. This is how I wanted things. This is how I need things. And this is why I want them this way. So it gets loud. And because it's a Mercury retrograde, we can talk about shadowed feelings, shadowed events, shadowed opinions. So we have our work cut out for us, especially the fixed signs. Mercury retrograde going back into Leo is going to really bring out this side to the fixed signs Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus of leadership. The point of this month, what are you trying to start? And are you embodying this energy? I don't know if I want to use the word authentically. Are you embodying this energy wholeheartedly, earnestly, sincerely, lovingly? That's the question. Or is it coming from an egotistical space? Now we get to Thursday, August 15. And on this day, we're going to have the moon in Sagittarius. So we're going to wake up to a moon in Sag. So maybe still a little ruffled and needing to understand our point of view. We're going to have this moon in Sag trine Mercury retrograde. So there is a release point here. This is how I see it. There's a release in understanding where your vision is coming from and why you were trying to defend something the whole week. So it's coming into the realization of, oh, this is kind of where I'm overemphasizing. This is where I'm messing up. And I understand that this needs to be changed in order for me to be a stronger leader and for people to just naturally follow me. So this is a understanding energy towards the self and how you've been acting. Now, very quickly later, the moon is going to go into Capricorn, which is so different from Sagittarius, right? We're going to have a desire to ground ourselves. We're going to be over the energy of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we go back into grounding ourselves and going back to the money goals, right? Like, this is what I need to do to solidify that big ass paycheck. Yet on this day, we're going to have the Mars and Gemini square Saturn and Pisces. And we've been kind of dealing with this energy on and off. Let me tell you, Mars and Gemini and Pisces have such an interesting relationship. I'm always kind of fascinated by them because I feel that they open portals. That's the magic that I see in Gemini and Pisces, is that the duality of Gemini and the split dimensions of Pisces takes us into a mushroom like experience. And I guess as a Sagittarius, I look at it like fucking artwork because it blows my mind, right? Sagittarius can have a stick up their butt, right? With wanting things a directed way. They don't really want the option. They're inspired by the purpose and the goal and the story and the focus. That makes a Sagittarius inspired. And Pisces and Gemini are not about that. They really don't care about the direction. They're not really focused on it. They kind of just want to make noise. They want to explore the options. And I think this is why this energy works, is so intrigued by each other. For those of you who've ever seen a Gemini and a Pisces be in a relationship, or maybe you're in that space, they're so intrigued by each other because it's like, hey, I make more worlds. That's Gemini. Gemini says, hey, I make two worlds. And Pisces says, hey, I make tons of dimensions. What you want? A flying goat, a gargoyle, a fairy, a gnome? I got it. Okay. And Gemini's like, oh shit, I thought it was just cars and bananas. You have way hella options there. And they're fascinated by each other, but there's also too much of a good thing. They can spiral into an oblivion that makes no factual, grounded, purposeful sense, right? Leaving out the Virgo and Sagittarius energy and the four mutable signs. Now, I'm not going to lie, this idea of Mars and Saturn do not play nice together. I feel that, on a personal note, from reading over 10,000 birth charts, I see the most foul plays when Mars and Saturn are speaking together. The other planets, they kind of have a different way to them, and they don't really result in such chaos and like shocking action. But Mars and Saturn, I like tiptoe around a little bit because they mean their shit. So this to me looks like pressured responsibility and being forced into doing something that you're not comfortable with doing. There isn't your inner self and higher self is like, yeah, no. But there's a extreme pressure here from an authority or a higher up that says it's irrelevant and you need to do this shit, right? And I think this has a lot to do with your integrity being tested and the universe asking almost like, have you learned from your mistakes? Have you learned from the past? Have you learned from your old belief systems and ideals? And how are you going to make better choices from here? So it is an integrity check on your free will. On Friday, the 16th, we are going to have the moon in Capricorn trine Venus in Virgo. This is a nice little break of finally getting your work done because I think that there was so much movement in the whole week that Friday, when typically Friday's a slow day in work and office life, I think this is going to be a busy, very productive Friday where you're like, I am over all this stuff. Really, the energy is kind of calming down and I have to do these things and get these things done. So I think that Friday comes in as a rescue day for us to get our things done and together and feel accomplished for the week. So I almost even want to say if you're getting behind this week, do not worry because you will catch up by Friday. We're also going to have a sextile Saturn. It is also going to sextile Saturn in Pisces, the moon, and then Jupiter in Gemini is going to start its square to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. That's a bigger energy. Even though we have so much inviting, grounding, and disciplined energy on Friday, the idea with Jupiter squaring Saturn so asks for balance through your desire to expand. Okay, so let's think about it this way. The day before Mars forced you into some kind of action. And now the next day you're going to have Jupiter that says, well, maybe there is something in it for me. Maybe this was done for my higher good. And maybe there is something that I will get out of it. And so you kind of just start seeing that there's a little bit of skin in the game for you, and you either commit or do not. You either commit to go through it or you kind of revolt against it. And I think it is a crucial point because it's going to set the tone for the next week and the rest of the month of August, because the energy of Jupiter squaring Saturn is going to last for quite some time, over a week, and we're going to be dealing with this energy for quite some time. Now, thankfully for you, my name is Bria Samai, and I have so much experience with dealing with these two planets, Saturn and Jupiter, as I have a Saturn and Jupiter opposition, Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Cancer. And my whole life has been about balancing these two. And so what I have learned is that making time for both of these gods to express themselves through you is how you maintain integrity with them. So if you allow Saturn to overrule, then your joy gets diminished and the purpose of life just kind of gets shadowed. And you go into this place of, again, having a stick up your butt and you're just so diluted in the things you do. Yet if you go into the Jupiter space is, I don't want any boundaries and constrictions. I'm here to have fucking fun. I'm here to do my shit. I'm here to rock and roll and experience life through all the joys that it has. And there is no limits and boundaries, and it gets out of hand. It is the epitome of overconsumption, whether it's food, TV, work. You're overdoing it. You're overdoing it for convenience and for fun, and because it's available to you, and because of an extreme lack of discipline. And so this energy balances out smoothly when you can say, I'm going to have fun, then I'm going to go work. I'm going to have fun, then I'm going to go work. I'm going to have fun, then I'm going to go work. Can we make that a song? Somebody out there, can you remix that? And if you want me to change the lyrics, let me know. I'll redo it. But it is so much about letting both of these gods express themselves. Extreme discipline and then extreme fun. You know how they say work hard, play hard? Well, shit, sign me up, okay? Because I want to work hard and seek the benefits of my work, okay? Saturday, August, what is it? 17 is coming in as a cute day. Let me tell you, honestly. Saturday is a soft, tender day with the moon in Capricorn trining Uranus and Taurus. We are chillaxing. We are so happy that we got so much work done Friday. We feel accomplished. We also feel inspired still and connected to our higher self that opened the week. So your higher self is like giving you a pat on the back. We made it through the week and look at us shining through together. And so I think we're going to still, for people who have out of corporate hours, you may still be working Saturday. Entrepreneurs and people who can work from home, you may still find yourself actually working Saturday morning. Yet towards the end of the day, we're going to have the moon go into Aquarius, which is very significant with it opening the portals to the full moon in Aquarius that's coming up. So the moon will go into Aquarius conjuncting Pluto. And so much of this is to let yourself be free. This is honestly what comes to my head is like walking around your house in your underwear. It's like, I fuck it. The only thing I can be is myself and just be who I am. Um, and so this energy, Saturday starts to break us in to the laws of Aquarius that are forever so strong in history right now and will continue to be strong. So Saturday is a day where it says, hey, let me onboard you onto this flight of no fucks given. So you can go into the full moon with complete sovereignty and ride the waves that Aquarius will bring in freeing yourself up from the expectations and norms of all of these characters at play. Now, even though we're getting a break on Sunday, on Saturday, Sunday is kind of back to the crazy shit, back to the crazy game because on Sunday we're gonna have Mercury retrograde square Uranus in Taurus. We're gonna have a Mercury cazimi, Mercury with the sun in Leo, and then Moon in Aquarius trine Jupiter and Mars in Gemini. Then we're gonna have Venus in Virgo square Jupiter in Gemini. That's kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot to take in. But let's start with Mercury retrograde squaring Uranus and Taurus, which is again the conversation of breaking free of mental intellectual patterns. Mercury is going to be in Leo, and Uranus and Taurus is kind of like a quiet, calm conversation over your insecurities, maybe holding you back from really manifesting the things that you want. Because when I look at Taurus, I think of manifestation. And Taurus, that's why Tauruses are so good at manifesting things. Like they can pull cars and houses out of their ass, like nothing. Okay. And there's a message here of where are you blocking yourself? Where are you believing? Like you have a cardinal desire to have the latest car, but there's a part of you inside that says you don't deserve this. You're not worthy of it, or it doesn't belong to you. So there's a strong tone there of breaking that seal. Now, the rarest transit, I think this is the rarest transit of the week. Mercury Kazemi with the sun. That's super rare because Mercury is retrograde. And there is a buffer. This to me feels like a buffer, like a shining of the shoe when it comes to your sense of self and the ego. And I think this is a lot of clarity where you just go, oh, that's it. I get it. And I just had to really like refine this little version of me. Now, the moon in Aquarius will trine Jupiter and Mars in Gemini, giving you the full energy to move towards your visions. This is like, I am inspired to say the word, speak the word, be the word. And there's a strong motivation of maybe connecting with your friends or networks or even community to come into the same mindset. Now, when we get to Venus in Virgo squaring Mercury, sorry, hold on. Venus in Virgo squaring Jupiter in Gemini, there's a big conversation about facts and logic and reason and practicality. So I almost don't even, it's hard for Virgo and Gemini to agree because they genuinely put up a good ass case. Virgo, of course, and Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. So they have grit to whatever argument they bring up. So I don't even think that this is about winning. It's about a serious checkmate energy of being mindful of any overindulgence that's taking place or you getting caught up in some kind of perfectionistic mindset that is just not in reality. It doesn't exist. And I think the message of Sunday that wraps up this week in a bow is trust the process. You have to have a delicate balance. I'm calling this like a tight rope week where you can make it through. There's a line and a way to get there. You just have to be totally mindful of your balance. Otherwise, it could set things off. So I do think that the message of this week is how much trust and faith do you have that you will walk this whole way through this tightrope, being like your anchors are your spirit guides and the universe. They have strings, right? But you just need to walk the walk. And how much do you trust those strings being present and trusting the universe to have your back at the end of the day? It's about trusting the process this week. So, friends, I hope that this was insightful for you. Regardless of what comes up, I am wishing you the best and most beautiful week ahead. Do your best to stay focused on your world and your things and also being mindful of others. And if you would like to get live stream readings with me, I will be on TikTok live every day, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST. I will log on to my TikTok platform and go live stream. And I will be doing readings for you all, tarot and astrology, and or synastry relationship readings. So you guys are all welcome to come in to hang out or just hear juicy gossip from other people, learn about astrology, and be in a very tight-knit astrology community. You are more than welcome to come hang out with us. Also, if you want to get a reading yourself, like there's people, I have a lot of clients who get mentorship type readings every week on the live stream because it's what I do. Primarily, I am a coach and a mentor to entrepreneurs and millionaires from all over the world. So it's just my natural habitat to give that kind of information. So when you go on the live stream, this is what I do also. Now, if you're somebody who wants to learn about your karma and your karmic signatures, but you can't quite yet book a reading with me, I have a surprise for you. If you go to my website, priyasamai.com, you can grab this report called the Karmic Patterns Astrology Report. This report is a full PDF breakdown on your karmic signatures. I'm going to show it here in the camera. Your karmic signatures from this life and past lives. This is a representation of a full report. and how much information is really truly here. Okay. You are essentially getting two reports in one. You look into past lives, which is so fun because it'll break down past life signatures. So you'll get a report that has karmic signatures from this lifetime and past lives. This is in my website, 50% off right now. And you will get it almost overnight because I'm so good at just processing these reports and getting them to you as quickly as I can. Now, of course, formally, if you want to talk to me privately on Zoom, feel free to go to my website and book a private reading. There's several to choose from, and we will talk over Zoom all about your karmic patterns and signatures and how to excel and succeed in life. Okay. I love you guys so much. Saturn is my favorite planet, and that's because he rules over time. And that is what you guys have given me today is your time. And so I'm super thankful and super appreciative for everybody who was here to watch the horoscope of the week. And I appreciate you. Come back next week to see what the week has to say. Bye, friends.